Pagasa has upgraded the area here in the West Philippine Sea to Tropical Depression Romina, and actually first time since 1963, Pagasa, the Philippine Meteorological Agency, has named a storm system outside of the Philippine Area of Responsibility. That's this dash line they monitor here because of this group of islands just towards the west of Palawan, actually part of the province there. So they're getting impacted. That's where you're seeing the signal force warnings. That is from Pagasa once this upgrades to a tropical storm, which is anticipated, according to JMA, they would name it Tropical Storm Pabuk. Big issue with this, though, is still its impact we're expecting here on the southern areas of Vietnam, but also we still have the training influence coming in from the east that's bringing heavy rainfall across parts of the Philippines, specifically southern Luzon and extending out towards northern areas of Visayas. And you can see that here in the satellite picture. Here's your storm system out here, actually kind of multiple lows. There's tropical depression, there's another low rate in here, but once this organizes, kind of gets its act together, that's when we do expect that to become a tropical storm. But then you have kind of almost a river of moisture coming in from the east, set up just like that. It's the demarcation line, if you will, of the flow coming in from the north with our latest cold surge, CFX snow there across Japan, and stretching down towards the south, and you get that collision of the air masses, and that's what's really going on here, where you have that training effect flowing into the storm system, and that's going to help this gather a little bit more moisture and bring heavy rains to the east coast of Vietnam. So breaking this down here once again as this tries to get it organized. See, yeah, there's this two areas of convection, but it looks like the southern area, it's kind of flowing into the northern one. That's where you're going to kind of get this wrapped up a bit more. You have good outflow aloft. That's these clouds coming off here towards north, and once again, there's your inflow, or aka your river of moisture set up with this. And you can really see it on this graphic, that flow coming in towards our storm system. And as we go ahead through Tuesday morning, especially, this making landfall south of Da Nang, just towards northeast of Ho Chi Minh, basically, you know, these coastal areas, definitely looking at that threat of some flooding, not only from, you know, big waves and coastal surges, which are possible, you know, very small, but I think more so the rainfall. You're going to have 2 to 3 days of consistent precipitation setting up here. That's going to bring that threat of flooding into Vietnam. But all the while, you know, this is going on right there. We have that flow coming in from the east. So here goes our storm impacting Vietnam. But then you talk about, you know, parts of the Bicol area. Eventually, as moisture could lift towards the north across parts of Manila into the Aurora, Isabela area, maybe over towards places like Subic. You're looking at still at scattered showers. Most of this is heavier north of Cebu, so we're talking about Mindoro, Bicol, Manila, so the NCR, and maybe areas just south, basically central Luzon. You're going to be seeing that rain pretty much for a good portion of the upcoming week. So you know how Manila acts when you get a little bit too much rainfall? It could result in some localized flooding. And actually this number right here, just towards the east of Manila, I'm going to let it play out because that's indicating what, 350 millimeters of rainfall just towards the east of that metro area. Also, just note the dark areas in red indicate 300 millimeters plus. So look at these up and down the east coast of Vietnam. Really, this just together with the inflow in our storm system here, you really just see where that flood threat is over the upcoming days. Now, I'm not saying cancel travel plans across these areas, but just be aware that it is going to be a fairly messy week coming up here. Taking a look at the broader picture, though, I do want to show you the waves. My computer loads. It just kind of froze on me. A little interesting there. There we go. Bigger picture. Oh, we don't have to edit that out. We got that flow coming in from the north. This takes a lot of energy for these graphics to run. You know, that's going to still make those big swells from the east coast of Luzon, stretching all the way down towards the parts of Samar and Leyte. Siargao, you still have the long period swells, but I think that you're going to slowly see some improvements here. I shouldn't say improvements. If you're a surfer, you want the big waves, but you know what I'm talking about. Generally, though, the biggest waves to be had, Hokkaido and the Chiba coast with those CFX snow machines set up off there towards the north. It must be monstrous off the west coast of Hokkaido. All right, so yeah, that's the big topic, though, today is our tropical depression. could be possibly a tropical storm soon as that pushes off towards the west. We still have that inflow of moisture wrapping in around behind it with plenty of chances of a rainfall setting up along the east coast of the Philippines. And also, on a side note, we are still watching the very, very long range for an area out here. And you can see where the rain's kind of accumulating up here. That wouldn't be until, we're talking about near the start of January. Almost said July. Goodness gracious. Wouldn't be until about the start of January. So you got some time to monitor, and let's continue to track what we have going on today, which of course is a tropical depression just towards the west of Palawan, and the inflow that's going to be setting up across southern areas of Luzon and northern Visayas. So we have plenty to talk about for the time being without having to look, 2 weeks ahead. Big shout out and thanks to our friends on Patreon who support this channel. I especially around the holidays here, I'm telling you, when I used to make these updates and do the stuff, before I started the Patreon, everything came out of my pocket. Which, I like, and I liked helping, but I was in a mad deficit. I'm talking thousands of dollars deficit, making it more like a hobby. When you have a hobby, you spend the money on it, and it doesn't bother you. But it kind of started getting to that point where it was getting a little much. So our Patreon members they supplement, and these graphics and stuff don't come out of my pocket anymore. That all the equipment, the nice mics I'm using, things like that. It's all thanks to you guys on Patreon. So I can't stress enough. And before I let you guys go, big shout out to our new merch store. So if you feel like you wanna be cool like me and wear some Westpac weather merch, it's not just our symbol, but a couple other things in there. Stop by our merch store and check it out. All right. Anyways, we're going to continue to track this today, and definitely a wet week ahead for central areas of Vietnam and over towards the Philippines. But of course, as always, friends, please stay safe out there.